I could come up with one just happened just within the hour. And by doing the work with your class, Todd, I realized that every situation and that I react to has deeper roots. And it seemed like a trivial just back and forth between my husband and I, but I realized, this is a worksheet. Um, so we had both sort of come home at the same time. I was sort of in a rush to get a run in before this session, and he was going to go walk the dog. And he was being considerate of me, but the statement he made was, "Should I have some juice or lemonade?" And I said, "Do what you want." And I realized my reaction was inconsiderate because it had deeper meaning for me, his question, when for him, his question was, "I'm being considerate. There's just a little bit of juice and a little bit of lemonade. Which would you prefer I have?"
Mm-hmm.
So while I was running, I realized that for me, that question just triggered, I want him to make his own decisions without worrying about trying to please me.
Yeah.
And so that was the situation. Should I have lemonade or juice? That really triggered a reaction that I realized there was more to my reaction, and he picked up on it. um,
Right.
but luckily we were able to go out and sort it out. But yeah, it could be a worksheet for sure.
Yeah. What you're finding there is that emotional interpretation, right? So the statement of fact, or what actually happened, was he says, "Should I have juice or lemonade?" Right? It's like, just seems like nothing, but what your mind was experiencing was based on the interpretation that you had, which is this some underlying thoughts there. I want him to make his own decisions. I don't want him to worry about pleasing me.
Yes.
Those kind of thoughts are where we can go in and do the work. So yeah, if you want to, we could do a little work on
We
that.
could. I mean, unless Bill has something that's more pressing, because I didn't come prepared,
Um,
so I don't want to step on anybody's toes that's prepared.
no, no, no. Like this is. I'm astonished how beautiful this story you just told is.
Oh,
I'm married. I'm married to, and the subtlety of what you just said, and yet its potential to derail things. I'm fascinated. So I would love to hear how you work
okay.
through this.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I wrote down two thoughts as you were speaking there, and tell me if these resonate, or if there's one that seems closer to it for you, or if anything else comes up for you. So I wrote, I want him to make his own decisions, and I don't want him to worry about pleasing me. Does one of those sound like
Yeah, the
it's
second one, I don't want him to worry about pleasing me.
okay? Great. So let's do that. And the situation is really clear, right? It's when he asks you, should I have juice or lemonade? So in that moment, you don't want him to worry about pleasing you. Is that true?
Um, in that moment, no.
Okay. So how do you react? What happens inside of you when you think this thought? I don't want him to worry about pleasing you. And here he is worrying about pleasing you.
Right, let me go back. I don't want him to worry about pleasing me. Can I change my answer to yes? Yeah. Okay,
Sure,
that
sure,
that
of course.
landed
Yeah.
better. Um,
So is it true? don't want him to worry about pleasing you.
Yes.
And can you absolutely know it's true? You don't want him to worry about pleasing you.
Yes. Yes, I can.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So how do you react? What happens when you think, I don't want him to worry about pleasing me, and he's asking, should I have some juice or lemonade?
I get frustrated. I go back to all the times he's asked me, should I do this or should I do that? Should I let the dog out now or should I leave the dog in? All the questions that seem logistical in a way, and just easy decisions for him to make on his own that I could easily adapt to. But then I go deeper to knowing that he has a fear that I may leave him, and that he is always looking for opportunities to show me his love and his loyalty and his concern, his, you know, that he's here for me. He's, and I say that fear that I will leave him because we've had a couple tough conversations about my restlessness, and we have an empty nest, and I'm feeling the focus back on me, not so much as a family, and seeing some differences and thinking about the future and how I want to live the rest of my life and being open about how I'm feeling. But I know it's making him nervous inside.
So when he says that, should I have some juice or some lemonade? How do you treat him in that moment when you think, I don't want him to worry about pleasing me?
I want him to make the decision. I want him to take all of the lemonade if that's what he wants. And even if it's what I want him to make decisions that put himself above me, before me, to show me that he's standing up for himself and not putting himself second behind me.
And when he doesn't do that, what do you say? What's your body language? What do you think? How do you treat him?
I'm short. I feel tense inside, and you know, I close up my heart, and my battery's low. And I feel unforgiving. Um, and I almost, want him to, I don't know if hurt's the right word, but just kind of push me a little bit, not be so kind.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to plug in my computer before I lose my juice.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. So the thought, I want him to worry about, I don't want him to worry about pleasing me. Do you notice uh, any other reactions when you're thinking that thought in that moment? I don't want him to worry about pleasing me. Any images come up from the past or the future?
Um, I mean, it's also a moment where I something that I need to work on, that I get frustrated with his lack of what I call good exercise. And as I go out for a run and he goes out for a walk, I'm just reminded of he's doing the thing that I hope to be doing when I'm 90. And I'm doing the thing that I hope he would do too, or do something that would um, be a little more exertion and a little I guess I don't consider walking the dog exercise. And
Yeah.
it was just a situation that repeats itself over and over again, and I'm having a hard time having a non-judging mind when I get in those situations with him. So I um, that hits me, that, oh, here I am again. He's walking the dog, and
Yeah.
I'm running, and here he's asking me.
So
Yeah.
that's how it starts, right? It's like, I don't want him to worry about pleasing me is going on. And then out of reaction to that, I start looking for other things. It
Yes.
snowballs. It starts to become, now there's two issues that I'm frustrated with him about. And if the mind can, if it keeps holding in that state, it can find three and
Yes.
four. It can just keep
Yes.
snowballing. So yeah, this is reaction. That's what we're looking at, reaction. So who would you be without the thought that you don't want him to worry about pleasing you? In the moment when he asks you, should I have some juice or lemonade?
I would recognize his kindness, his consideration, that I may come home after my run and, like, the lemonade. That's what I've been thinking about, coming home to and having the lemonade. That he's just being a really nice guy, and I'm here, criticizing him in my mind for not making a decision when he was making a decision about what to drink, including me, so that it would be something that would please us both. He would get his thirst taken care of by either the juice or the lemonade, and I'm a picky eater, picky drinker. Here he has an opportunity to please me. A small moment of pleasure. Um, I would just, open, accepting of him, um, not looking for those areas where we have differences, um, and just be grateful um, that I have a partner in my life who's kind and considerate,
Mm.
um, and who, frankly, wants to please me. I would be grateful for that.
Yeah. The only thing that gets in the way of that gratitude, natural gratitude, is a thought like this. I don't want him to worry about pleasing me. As soon as that comes in, as we've seen, then the reactions come in and the separation happens. But without that thought, it's just, wow, he's really thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
And the feeling is different.
Mm-hmm.
So one thought makes a difference. That's what we're seeing. So how would you turn this thought around? I don't want him to worry about pleasing me.
I do want him to worry about pleasing me.
Okay, that's the turnaround. Let's see if it makes any sense. Is there any evidence to support that side of the story?
I do, in the sense that I do want a partner who is considerate of my feelings and my being in his life, and someone who shares food and drink with him. I do appreciate I do appreciate that he thinks about me.
Yeah. What are the advantages to you of him being that way? I think worrying about pleasing you a little bit.
I trust him. I am comfortable. I'm not threatened. I feel at home with him. I don't worry about his loyalty or love for me. When he does little things like that, he's showing me that he loves me. And I do appreciate that. It's the little things, right? Here it was, a little thing, a
Totally.
little moment of his just showing his love, and I turned it around to, a fight.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Cool. So I do want him to worry about pleasing me. Is there any other turnaround to the original statement? I don't want him to worry about pleasing me.
I mean, the other one I see is the complete opposite, is I want me to worry about pleasing him.
Okay. It's kind of a
Is
double
it? Okay.
turnaround, that one. It's like it would be like the original is I don't want him to worry about pleasing me. So if I turn it around, just changing one thing at a time, then it would be I don't want me to worry about pleasing him.
Okay.
And we can play with it. Sometimes even the double turnarounds can have some meaning in them. But let's go with the kind of standard turnaround to the other here, which is I don't want me to worry about pleasing him. How could that be as true or truer than you don't want him to worry about pleasing you?
I guess I don't want me to worry about pleasing him. I don't want to use the word worry for either of us. I don't want to put that stress in the relationship, which is what I've done. I want to please him. I want him to please me, but I don't want either of us to worry that it's not enough or it's too much.
Yeah. Yeah. So of those two, which one can you control? Him worrying about pleasing you, or you worrying about pleasing him? Which one's easier to control,
Me.
we could say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So like the turnaround then it's closer to my domain. I can't even control myself a lot of the times, but it's closer. It's a little bit, there'd be a little more chance of me not worrying about pleasing him than trying to change him, which may be I don't have that control. So these turnarounds, they always bring me back to what can I do? What can I do? And this is one of them. I can not worry about pleasing him. And another place is you may find that you do worry about pleasing him sometimes. I don't know. But if you do, then you can start to see the equality. Like, oh, sometimes he worries about pleasing me, but I also do that to him sometimes too. So do you have any examples in that area?
Sadly, not so much on my behalf. I don't find myself worrying or wondering if I'm pleasing him. I'm sort of in a negative mindset right now, and which is focused on him and not me, which this is what the work's about for
Mm-hmm.
me, is really trying to explore what I bring to a relationship, um, and how I'm projecting my own self criticism and darkness and all my own stuff onto him, because he's my person. I live with him. I know him. Um, he's really the mirror that I see myself in. Um, so I guess in that way, if I'm not worried about pleasing him, what does that say about me not worried about pleasing my own self?
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a whole other turnaround. But before we go into that, it's something interesting about what you were just saying. Like I, I may not be doing exactly what he's doing to me. Like I'm not worrying about pleasing him so much, but I'm doing something different, some other kind of a negative thing with him. And so that may be my version of how I'm not treating him ideally. And so let me work on that, maybe do that less. And then if, again, I can control that better than whether he worries about me or not. So sometimes it's not an exact match,
Right.
but there's something I'm doing to him that probably he doesn't like, just like he's doing something to me that I don't like. And so I could at least play with dropping
Right.
what I'm doing to him,
Yeah. Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah. I see that very much. Yeah.
Cool. Again, it brings us back to equals. He's doing something to me, I'm doing something to him, and it's okay. We're humans, and we're working on it. So that other turnaround that you just mentioned, I don't want me to worry about pleasing me. Where does that go? Does that make any sense? Sometimes these turnarounds
Yeah.
don't make any sense, right? You just play with them. And if you find something, great. If not, no problem. But play with it a little bit. I don't want me to worry about pleasing me. Does that make any sense in the moment when he's saying, should I have some juice or some lemonade?
It does a little bit. I mean, it sort of makes me wonder, am I not accepting or receiving his kindness because I don't feel like I deserve it? Is it this, why are you being so nice to me? Because in my head, I'm being so mean to you and I don't deserve this.
Mm.
Um, I should be unkind to my own self too, because I'm beating up, my partner of almost 26 years, and it seems unfair. Um, when I know that I need to work on myself, I can't help but pick at him sometimes and turn things around in a negative way.
And then when he's kind, you can't receive it because you're feeling like you're not being kind to him, so it's not fair
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, interesting. So what you're doing to yourself and to him in your mind or in your behavior closes down your ability to receive his actual, possibly genuine
Yeah, I realized I didn't
thoughtfulness.
even really see it as being kind. I saw it as, here
Right.
you are throwing it in my face again that you want me to make a decision for you because you're too worried that I'm unhappy and that the choice of juice is going to make you happy. So you decide. You decide, which, really makes a lot of sense because, I'm the one that went to therapy. He's the one that didn't want to go to couples therapy. I do have this feeling that I'm the one that has to do the work to make this relationship work. So I guess it was the trigger of, here it is again. The focus is on me. I make the decision about the juice because I'm the one doing the work for our relationship. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a story that
Yeah.
gets generated and reaffirmed, and suddenly I'm the one
Yeah.
carrying all the weight, and I'm a victim of your lack of ability to
Yes.
evolve,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
right. So it just, and this juice is just another
Yes.
expression of it. So it's like that's how the mind works. It creates a story. It creates it's the ultimate spin doctor, right? It can create a story and then withhold anything that doesn't support the story and beef up all the evidence that supports it. And pretty soon, I'm just fully believing it. So it's nice to
Yeah.
deconstruct it a little bit in this process of inquiry and just see, oh wait, it may not be what I'm thinking it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
thank
thank
you,
you.
Susan.
Yeah. It's, when will the story
Yeah.
end? I guess the story never, it's just a constant story. We're always working on it. It changes shape a little bit, but it's,
Well, the nice thing about doing the work is that story gets balanced. Like it's, like balanced reporting in a newspaper tells both sides. So when we do the work, we start telling ourselves both sides. We start educating ourselves to the real story, and with that, some balance comes in, and when that balance does come in, there's like the story becomes less sticky,
right.
less emotional. It becomes like, oh, okay, this is the fact. These are the facts, and this is what we can try to work with. But it's not the fight that comes in when I'm so sure that I'm in the right, he's in the wrong, or he
Right.
needs to change,
Right.
whatever. So yes, the stories do keep going, but in my experience, they become less
Yeah.
sticky over time. Like I don't know if I'll ever get rid of all the stories, but I'm less
Yes.
caught in them.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I
that's
see
what I
that.
find.
Yeah. Yeah.